100,000 years ago, or about 110,000 years ago. We bring in lots of approximations there. And we say the last ice age ended 15,000 years ago. Some say 10,000 years ago. Why? Why do you say that? Some say 15,000, some say 10,000. Why? Some say because all the ice on the earth have not melted yet. So some say even the ice hasn't completely gone yet. You understand? Because the earth is vast. Yes, it's very large. So we assume it. That's about 15,000 years ago, the last ice age ended. And when ice age ends, all this ice slowly, all these ice sheets, ice caps, glaciers are slowly melting, and that melt water is reaching the sea. Ultimately it has to go to the sea. Yes or no? Yes. Ultimately everything has to go to the sea. So the sea level is rising, one. Second is, just like Professor mentioned, always remember, sun is the source of energy and heat for us on planet Earth. Yes? We say solar. What is the meaning of solar? Anybody? Solar is the of the sun, adjective of sun. Global, adjective of globe. Alright? So we say solar radiation, incoming solar radiation. That is the source of energy for us. Yes? Yes? Incoming solar radiation. Can that rise and fall? I'll come to that. Now, when that is coming in, the sea level, sea temperature is rising. Yes? When sea temperature rises, that means it has more energy. Think, have you ever boiled water in a pot or in a kettle? Yes or no? Yes. When you raise the temperature, that is, you increase the temperature. These days you have automatic controls, things like that, digital, induction heaters. You raise the temperature, that means you give more energy. What happens to the water in the pot? It boils more vigorously. Yes? Yes. So similarly, if the sea surface temperature rises because of more solar radiation or more intense incoming solar radiation that we call insolation, yes? Sea has more energy. And if sea has more energy, it is more vigorous. When it is more vigorous, there are more cyclones. Alright? The science part, Professor has explained very beautifully. So I'm sort of taking it to you. And so it is more vigorous. It starts boiling. In a kettle, you see the water boiling. In sea, of course, you don't see water boiling, but you see the vigorous activities, that is, the cyclones becoming more intense. And when the cyclones become more intense, like we had, he mentioned, we had the super cyclone in 1999, and the wind speed was at least 260 kilometers per hour. The Phylline that you faced in 2013, you all have seen Phylline. You haven't seen the super cyclone of 1919 because you were not born. But you have seen Phylline. What was the temperature? Oh, sorry, what was the wind speed of Phylline? About 180 kilometers. No, it was more. It was about between 215 to 230. Sir, am I right? Yes. 215 to 230 kilometers per hour. All right, Phylline. And he also explained, he mentioned storm surges. When a cyclone hits the land, we call it making landfall. There was wild speculation about Phylline, that where will it make landfall? Where will it enter the landmass? Initially, some people were saying, it will make landfall at Vizag, and then some were saying at Puri, but IMD, Professor Sahu was the director head of the IMD here in Bhubaneswar, and my friend and colleague, we worked together, a gentleman, Dr. L.S. Rathore, he was the DG IMD, Director General of India Meteorological Department. They insisted it will make landfall at Gopalpur and the speed will be 215 to 230. And that proved correct. The American scientists were proved wrong at that time. So President Obama, in fact, asked the Indian administration at that time that do give us some credit. You know, that our scientists, but they were saying wrong things. And when it made landfall at Gopalpur, the Americans were saying that the storm surges would have the height of something like 6 meters. That is because they did not understand the simple thing again the Professor mentioned. He mentioned lots of things, but probably you did not understand some of that because you haven't studied meteorology, which you may someday. And this is because of the shallowness or the depth of the sea adjoining the coast. Yes, at Vizag, let's say it is deeper. It's a little less deep at Gopalpur. It is a little lesser deep in Puri, and it becomes even shallower in Paradip, then even shallower in Baleshwar and Bangladesh. Now, when that Phylline made landfall at Gopalpur, the storm surge, height of the storm surge was about 2.5 meters. Had the same Phylline made landfall at Puri, probably the height of the storm surge would have been 4 meters. Had that made the same storm, had that made landfall at Paradip, the height probably would have been 6 meters. You understand? That means 6 meter high wave of water, sea water, would have invaded the sea. In Odisha, we say it, Luna Mariase. Alright, that's our Odia word. And that happens. And because of this climate change, or because of the sea is getting more energy, you will get more cyclones. The frequency of cyclones will be more, and the cyclones will be more intense, that is, they will be stronger, and there will be more storm surges. Yes? So that you should become aware of. Alright? Now, if we have, there are lots of interesting things. I'm just picking up the interesting bits. If sea invades the land, lots of people will be rendered homeless. Yes? If it is Puri, the height of Puri is about meter to 2 meters above sea level. Yes? That you all should know. Calcutta, lots of areas in Calcutta are below sea level. Is it possible? Can it really happen? 60% of Holland. Have you heard of Holland? Where is it? Where is Holland? In Europe. The other name of Holland is Netherlands. Yes? On the Rhine Delta. 60% of Holland, 60% of the land area of Holland is below sea level. And they have been constructing the dikes for last 700 years. Dikes means large embankments along the sea, on the land, to protect the land from the sea. They have been reclaiming land for the sea for the last 700 years. Now we have to become aware of this. If we do not take any measures, a lot of our land area will be lost to the sea. Say for example, the city of Puri will be submerged. You understand? By the end of this century, there will be no Puri. There will be water on Baradando. Yes? 100%. If we don't do, in Odisha we don't do anything. What do we do in Odisha? We always say, Jagannatha will take care of us. Jagannatha will not do your work. You have to do your work. When you are not doing your homework, is Jagannath coming helping you? Is he? Because that is your work. Similarly, to protect this land is our work. Alright? Now what will happen to Bangladesh? By the end of this century, I say, let's say the sea level rises by 2 meters, Odisha will lost about 1,000 square kilometers of land area. Alright? What will happen to Bangladesh? Bangladesh is very low lying and very flat. Yes? About 30% of Bangladesh will be inundated. 30%. What's the population of Bangladesh? Anybody? 180 million, 18 crores, alright? So about 1/3 will lose their homes. Do you see the problem? Population of Odisha? What is the population of Odisha? 4.5 crores, alright? 45 million. Use the word million because million is becoming more popular. What is million? How many zeros after 1? 6 zeros, alright, you know. Orissa population 45 million. All right. Bangladeshi, about 60 million Bangladeshis will be here looking for asylum in Orissa if we do not take care of the sea level rise. Do you see the problem, the enormity of the problem? Yes or no? So these are huge problems. Now I told you that the ice caps are slowly melting away. This I mentioned that started with the natural process. All right? On top of that, in 1840s, 1850s, between 1840 and 1860, we say we had industrial revolution. Do you know what that means? Where did it start? Britain. All right? I'm making it easier for you. Britain it started, industrial revolution. And what's industrial revolution? When machines started replacing men. All right? Production became mechanized. And how was that possible? Because of steam engine that was invented. Who invented steam engine? James Watt. When? Yes? 1775. Remember that one. 1775 and 1776. What is 1776? What's the importance of 1776? Yes? America, United States became independent. Alright? So 1775, James Watt introduced or invented, he actually invented